Peace, is Nattyisisyah, and I want to talk about the flat earth theory because I've noticed a lot that it has been coming up in the comment sections of a lot of people's channels, and I don't even think these people notice, but I be in those channels. So I notice whenever we make a video as Black people, whenever we make a video and we're really touching deep on a topic, it could be politics, it could be relationships, it could be anything that kind of has a sort of lifting the veil type of topic. And anytime we do this, anytime we are exposing the truth and we are really breaking down the situation, these caucasoids, these crackers, these white people, they like to come in the comment section and suggest that we talk about the flat earth. We could be talking about the reason why they just killed the sister, the reason why the DC sisters are missing, the reason why these brothers are locked up in jail, the reason why these brothers are getting killed by the police. But here they come trying to distract us to talk about whether the earth is flat or not. As though it matters, as though we should really care. As though whether we decode whether the earth is flat or not, that somehow we are going to simultaneously all become liberated, awakened, and free. Suddenly police brutality is going to stop. All the missing DC girls are going to manifest and reappear, as though all our problems are going to be solved, as though these same trolls are going to stop trolling us, right? But what it is that when we are touching on these topics and we are breaking it down in a way, they got to bow down and they got to submit to the genius and the wisdom that we are imparting on those who are viewing, right? And so they're interested in whether the earth is flat. They want to know, and they want to hear from the gods themselves, which would be us, whether or not we want to touch on that, whether we want to talk on that, whether we want to, tell. They are looking for the jewels and the hidden secrets from us, from our ancestral DNA, from our melanated DNA and our makeup. They want to hear from us whether the earth is flat or not. And again, they also want us to go beyond, healing our people, liberating our people, freeing the minds of our people, and now entrapping us in, whether we are on a square or a sphere. And I want to say that don't give in to a lot of this type of trolling tactics and mechanism. They play good guy, bad guy. You have those trolls that are just completely nasty and they'll say all type of things. And then you have other trolls that, they want you to talk about, just some random crazy ass stuff that has nothing to do with, anywhere that where if you were focused, you would go, talking about whether the earth is flat or not. Real talk, it's not going to free us. Talking about whether the earth is flat or not is not going to stop all these Asians from traveling over to Africa, right? And being with all the women over there. It's not going to stop all these white supremacists. It's not going to stop all the UN aid workers who are really pretending to help, going over there and trying to implement more white supremacy and more white imperialism. It's not going to stop all that. Talking about whether the earth is flat or not is not going to make me feel better about, going outside and doing whatever it is I feel like I want to do, right? So just ignore. Some of these trolls need to just straight up be deleted. Some of these trolls just need to stop because we see the trolling from a distance. Then, if we go down that path and we start making videos about whether the earth is flat or round, guess what's going to happen? Look what happens when we just decide whether we want to talk about whether the Medu Neter has been deciphered. Look what happens, whether we want to talk about whether the Black woman is God or not. And none of those things are going to liberate us, talking about it, debating about it. So now we're supposed to go and talk about whether the earth is round or flat. You're trying to put people under the earth, talking about that situation, talking about, those questions or not. They trying to get some of us killed and murdered just talking about that shit. Because, real talk, nobody's going to, I don't see anybody getting up in no planes. A lot of time people talk about, we shouldn't use herbs from street doctors. And, all these healers, they fake, they snake doctors, which is bullshit, right? Because you put your trust so much into these this white supremacist system that wants to draw your blood and suck your blood. You freely give them your blood. You don't care what they're doing with it. You don't care whether they're trying to look for the next Henrietta Lacks or use your genes and your DNA to reproduce cells that are going to be used against us, that are keeping these white supremacist crackers alive for hundreds of years. And you better, you know, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the white supremacists that are using our DNA and our genes to stay on this earth for longer than they would have. Let's talk about the organ harvesting, you know, because in a way you kind of have to be that type of cracker that wants to, i.e. live forever, that wants to be a god, that wants to control and rule everything, to kind of keep people in the situation that they are in, because there's no other way that this shit is just going to be maintained indefinitely. You know, a lot of people can barely get their children to do what they want them to do, let alone get an entire race of children and a nation of people to continuously try to lock black people down, lock the planet down, lock the world down. But you want us to talk about whether the earth is flat or not. Let's talk about, you know, those people who are mass industrializing the brothers and sisters. Let's talk about, again, you know, why people might be missing, and you know, but you want us to talk about whether the ground that we walk on is a sphere or a square. And I hope I didn't lose my train of thought, but I was saying that, you know, we start talking about this stuff, we are going to end up in debates, you know, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, how brothers and sisters, and yeah, that's what I was saying. A lot of people are saying that, you know, again, don't trust the herbal doctors because, you know, they're not taking your blood and you have no way of testing, and, you know, it's like you put so much faith and belief into white supremacy that you would say something like, you know, we don't have our own labs, right? Well, we start talking about whether the earth is flat or a sphere or not. Which one of you are going to be going up in an airplane and traveling around the entire globe? You know, we have to apply these, if we're going to believe in white supremacy that way, we got to, you know, do it right across the board. So who's going to be the first one to go on an airplane, buy all that gas, you know, use all their black economic empowerment to just go flying around the globe to see, or, you know, over the globe, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I don't know what you would do when you get to the end of the earth if it was flat. Do you continue flying underneath the earth to now where it is just rocky, or maybe there's land in a country underneath that it's just flat with mountains on both sides? I mean, make up your mind. Right? So unless we're going to do that, we can't really be debating and questioning and delving in and taking those questions too seriously. Right? Because, again, even with the herbal stuff, the things that we know work, a lot of this stuff we know works. Right? Now, whether you want to be a fool and you just want to take a whole bunch of herbs and products that you don't know of, that you know is not even listed for you to go and do your own research, whether you want to be, you know, completely oblivious to the fact that everything has pros and cons and everything's need to be used in moderation, and you just want to go and do some crazy stuff, you know, because somebody said so, that is up to you. And again, it's like you had no problem believing in the white supremacy, believing in the things that got you sick in the first place. But now when somebody is trying to heal you, all of a sudden, you know, you want to condemn them and blame them for everything. We need to get past that, but that's a whole nother video, right? And then, you know, if you talk about whether the black woman is God, who's going around and, you know, really testing these sisters? In other cultures, they actually have practices and rites of passages that would deem whether somebody is, you know, worthy of being called a black goddess, or, you know, and all this. And a lot of times too, some of these titles can be self-attributed. You can attribute yourself some of these titles. So even in that, you know, you can't necessarily always judge this or that. So, and we're fighting over that stuff. We're fighting over people's free will. We're fighting over people's self-identification. And now, you know, with this whole flat earth thing, they want us fighting over, again, whether the earth that we walk on is a sphere or a square. So, you know, we're going to stop that right now. We're going to nip that right in the butt, because chances are these crackers are not going to give you an airplane to go and fly around, or fly, I don't know what you would call it if you're going through a square, or over a square. I'm sure you would still have to fly around the square or the flat piece of paper. You know, you still would have to go over and under. They're not going to give you the airplane. They're not going to give you the means to go and do that type of research, right? They're not doing it themselves. They'll show you a little airplane where they go up in the sky and it looks a certain way, but with all these camera effects and all these apps, you could do a lot of things until we become the gods that we say we are, and we elevate up out of these bodies, and we go through the earth and under the earth and around the earth and do whatever it is, you know, through the universe, goddammit. Until then, you know, who gives a goddamn? We have something that we need to do here, right? And you know, we need to be solid and firm in the foundation of who we are, right, before we start drifting off into space, which is really what they would like us to do. And this is coming from somebody who is all interested in all the things, you know, whether they be in space or under the earth. But still, we got to know what our priorities are, right? And our priorities is the freedom and liberation of our people, right? Being able to rule our own destiny, being able to self-identify as who we are, right? And to shelter, clothe, house our people how we see and deem fit, right? Being able to provide and sustain ourselves how we deem fit. And a lot of that is not, it being attacked right now, you know? So again, don't bite the bait. Don't bite the bait. I'm letting you know from now, because I see the play happening, and I don't think a lot of people are catching on. But it's definitely what's going down in the DMs. It's going down in the comments, and in a minute, it's going to catch on. Just like how this DC 64,000 girls has caught on almost overnight. Overnight, we might be arguing about whether the earth is flat or round. Don't fall for it. So join the website www.kingnobleuncensored.com. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to King Noble's channel at Lord Yeshua. Donate if you can. The donations definitely help for us to continue to put out information like this. You know, that's going to keep the peace, keep the unity amongst us, because they are funded. These people going and typing this stuff, they are funded. Their bills are paid. You know, they all their expenses are paid. You know, their meals, you know, their internet bills are paid, their phone bills are paid. They're not worried about whether they're on the white man's computer or the white man's phone. Nobody's getting at them about that. But we have way more things that we're up against, right? So your donations definitely help and support. If you can donate, leave a comment in the comment section, comment on one of King Noble's videos, and, you know, definitely communicate with us so that way we can help to, you know, continue to push this type of message out. And, you know, look forward for more videos. Let me know what type of videos you want to see. Let me know if anything else is going on. And just keep it moving. Black supremacy.